every need that sees, every mission that
I think we live, baby.
I think we're live.
What's
but
going
we're
on,
moving
guys?
Really slow. I'm so sorry. I think we got too much stuff going on.
Welcome to Conversations with Heath and Tracy. Live, baby. Oh.
Sorry, I got too much going on.
Welcome to Conversations with Heath and Tracy, where we meet here every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to demystify your relocation to the DMV.
He's going to get it down one day, y'all.
So, you can ask us anything.
I think I need to move my mic over. How's that? Is that better?
Hey, what do they do if they have any questions for us, baby?
Oh, so if you have any questions, you need to just type it in the comments below and type in a Q in front of it or all caps.
Put a Q up there.
And then we'll know. And you didn't clean my glasses this morning.
Baby, I was going to clean your glasses, but you were locked in.
Oh my gosh, I got new gear, guys, so I'm a little excited. I'm the techie in this operation. And I think that it is just so much fun. I think this is like my thing.
It's your thing, baby. It's okay.
It's my thing.
It's your thing.
No, you said if it's their first time here, or did I just say all caps?
No, you were just saying all caps.
Okay, so type a Q in the comments if you want to ask us a question, because we're talking about what today?
We're talking about the DMV.
The DMV, y'all. If you want to move here, if you already live here, we just moved here. Well, is it just?
Yeah, we moved here like what, 7-8 months ago now. 6 or 8 months ago.
So y'all, this quarantine thing, I have quarantine fatigue for real.
It's a time warp.
That's a very, very good description, babe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're in the time vortex.
we're in the time vortex.
Hey, if you're thinking about the DMV, look, we want to help. That's why we're here every Saturday morning, 11 a.m. EST.
EST. Get your coffee, get your tea.
Get your popcorn ready.
Okay. What else are we talking about? So we're talking about Bowie, Maryland.
We're talking about Bowie.
We had a special request to talk about Bowie, Maryland, and the PG. I don't know what y'all call it because I don't know.
No, if you live here, they say you live out Bowie.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, I live out Bowie.
How do you know this? You don't have to lean that way, baby. Move it over. I don't mind.
It's cool.
He knows how particular I am.
It's cool, baby. I
want everyone to hear us.
That's Samuel Jackson from I think that was Pulp Fiction. It's cool, baby. It's cool.
It's cool.
Look at me. Concentrate on me. Somebody know what I'm talking about.
He does this. He does this all the time.
They know that
I
scene
don't
in Pulp
know,
Fiction.
and I don't know what. I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't know what he be talking about.
It was when they rode up on them toward the end of the movie.
Oh Lord, y'all see me.
They rode up on him at the end of the movie, and he had to calm Yolanda down. So that's a Pulp Fiction thing.
Okay.
It's all good. It's all good. It's been a minute since I've seen that. Hey, so if this is your first time here, my name is Heath.
And I'm Tracy.
We are parents, podcasters, and joyfully married after 30 years.
Oh my gosh, y'all. 30 years?
Mm-hmm,
yeah, really. And no, I am not. I did not get married at 14. I know people ask that. Thank you so much.
Look, so if you want some positivity and an upbeat vibe in your Saturday, join us here every Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we're talking about life in the DMV.
Happy Saturday.
Yeah.
So if you need help relocating, right, to
the DMV,
subscribe.
hit the little bell.
And we talk about this. We talk about other things on our channel, but every Saturday morning we go live.
Hit us with questions.
And you can see it'll say updates on life in the DMV. I think that's the playlist.
And if you're new here, definitely hit new you in the comments.
New you. Hey, Ron.
What's up, Ron? Good morning.
Welcome back. Here we go.
Grand Rising, my brother.
Grand
Rising. Yeah. So you want to get into the DMV content, baby?
Yeah, but you know what we got to do first?
Hey, hit that button.
Welcome to Conversations with Heath and Tracy.
Hear me? They just can't see anything.
Oh,
See, now
okay.
they can see me. That's cool.
Okay, cool.
Welcome back to Conversation with Heath and Tracy.
So wait. Before we get started, today is Heath's birthday.
Look. It's just another beautiful day in my life.
I know.
Every day is so beautiful when you're rolling with the queen.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you, baby.
Mwah.
And you have so many blessings in your life. It's just like, hey, it's whatever. It's just another beautiful day in the neighborhood.
He is so easy to please, y'all. This man right here. Let me just take a minute. I met this man at Howard University.
Yep.
Over 30 years ago.
Yep.
And he has been the uplifting, positive spirit in my life. I was high strung. I was a high strung chick. I was that chick. But I was like, go. And he just evened me out. He's always happy. I have not met maybe one person that does not like him.
There's a couple of people out there that don't like him.
No, it's one person. It's one person. And you know who you are.
It might be more than one.
No, I think it's one. I'm pretty sure it's just one. There's one person I know that does not like him. And I don't understand it. But it's like in real circles, y'all, I'm Heath's wife.
Yeah, in some circles.
In all circles.
In many circles.
So let me tell you, my boss had a conversation with Heath one time. He said, I think I like him better than you. He actually said that to me.
Which boss was this, Tracy?
You know which one.
Oh, okay.
The one down in Atlanta with all the kids.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
With the Brady Bunch.
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He actually said, I think I like him better than you.
Oh, my God.
I was like, what? I can't believe you just said that to me. And I thought he loved me.
Oh, he did love me.
He did, but he didn't.
It's all good.
It's one of those things, y'all. Okay, so we're talking about, one town in PG County.
PG County. Talking about Bowie.
Let's talk about Bowie, y'all.
Bowie, Maryland.
So Bowie is located in Prince George's County, better
Yes.
known as PG County.
PG County, yep.
There are about 45,766 residents there.
Yep.
And about 16,000 households. So it's not too big. It's not too big, which is really, really nice.
Right.
The average temperature
Mm-hmm.
it's about like the mid-Atlantic, y'all. It's
Yeah.
it's gonna get a little chilly. It snows. We had snow this week, by the way.
Mm-hmm. There's more coming tomorrow, they say.
Right. And we've got, we're gonna have a little bit of snow. So basically, it's part of DC Metro.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people live out there because not so much the cost of living, but it's just nice and quiet. It's very, very suburban.
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
Very
and it's mostly homeowners, 84%. So that's more so than like where we live in Arlington and DC and Tyson, some of the other places we've spoken about, Bethesda.
Yeah.
Most of the people that live in Bowie own their homes, okay? And 55% of the people that live in Bowie, are y'all ready for this? Have a post-secondary degree.
Yeah, people got some intelligence.
Well, that's
We got some
wait.
degrees. We got some
There we
degrees.
go. We just because you don't have a degree does not mean you're. Thank you. Keeping his education snobbery.
Oh, look, my dad went to Morris Brown when W.B. Du Bois was teaching down there. And he said he used to walk around like this. Yes.
Oh my God. Oh, his dad was an amazing
Black
man.
history, y'all. Yes, my father went to Morris Brown College.
Oh yeah,
Atlanta
and welcome
University
to
Center.
welcome to
During
Black
the
History
time.
Month. We don't like to date ourselves when we do these videos, but this is Black History, so we don't say that.
Yeah. He said he walked around
Get you some Black history.
during the time that W.B. Du Bois was actually a professor in the Atlanta University Center.
He got some. He has some stories for you because, and when we first got married, I used to go in the back room. They had this big family room in the back room of their house. I used to sit back there for hours.
We call it the back room.
That's what we call it, the back room. We would sit back there for hours,
Yep.
and his dad would talk and talk and talk and talk.
He said, you have to excuse me, I suffer from chronic loquation, diarrhea, or
But I loved it. So if I had friends come over and I was like, I need to talk to this person and not be here for 3 hours, I was like, okay, yeah, hey, daddy. And I would just keep going. Because if we sat down,
he's going to get some stories.
And they wouldn't want to leave. It was an amazing place to live.
Yeah, he had a show before a show was popular.
He did. Oh, can you imagine daddy with YouTube? Oh, he would have been famous.
Yeah, he showed you how to grow your plants. He give you some life counsel.
Become a millionaire.
He show you how to make some money. How to get down with the real estate.
What's a good deal? What's not a good deal?
Oh, he's going to give you all the information.
So back to Bowie.
Bowie, Maryland. Yes. The median home value in Bowie, Maryland is $352,600.
So it's a little bit less than other areas.
Yeah, which actually you can see how that data ties back to the
home ownership.
Percentage of home ownership, right? Because if you can afford to have a place and you have a nice place to live and it's relatively safe,
or you don't want to spend an arm and a leg.
It's a decent commute. It's not an arm and a leg. To your point, then that makes a lot of sense that there are a lot of homeowners.
Right.
So rental median is $1,880,
which is about like it is everywhere else.
It is.
So if you want to live in Bowie, you probably want to look at owning as opposed to renting. Okay, and I think I've shared this with you all before. When we moved here, I did the numbers, and based on where we wanted to live, we decided that leasing a home, an executive home, renting a home would be a better return on our dollars for us.
Yeah.
It's a very personal decision.
It is. It is.
So if you're looking at Bowie, Maryland, if you're going to rent there, I would recommend just renting for a short period of time and going ahead and getting into that home.
Right.
Because you're going to see a longer return on your dollars in that home in Bowie.
Yeah.
Because the rents are high. If you rent in Bowie, you might as well live in Arlington. You might as well live in DC or Bethesda.
Yeah, depending on what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, renters make up about 14%, 14.4% of Bowie's population. So
right.
That makes sense, right? The juxtaposition of the level of home ownership, the percentage, and the percentage of renters.
And the other thing is they don't have much to rent out there.
Right. Only 1.3% of the houses and apartments in Bowie are available for rent.
So if you want to rent a house in Bowie, jump on it. You better get it because it's not going to be that long. Same thing with an apartment.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the economy a little bit. I'm not giving y'all. Let's look at. I'm sorry, I'm not giving you any pictures this week. Okay.
Yeah, the economy is important to talk about, right? So with respect to people that live in Bowie, only about 3%.
Wait, well, let's look at houses first.
You want to get to the houses?
Yeah, let's look at the houses.
Okay,
really quick.
Pull the houses up and let people see what's going on with the real estate game in Bowie.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So I can't see it, y'all, because it's really far away.
Do you want?
So as you can see, they've got some pretty nice ranges as far as buying a home.
Right.
That's a pretty nice sized house. It looks like a lot of money. I know. When you live in Atlanta or you live in Florida, you live in other parts of the South, it does not. It's like, oh my God, that's too much. But actually, Bowie is, to me, when I look at the prices there, it's very equivalent to buying a home in like Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean, salary ranges in Metro DC are commensurate, right? So you have to factor that in mind. So if you have solid jobs and you're in this area, then these homes will be palatable for you, depending on where you are in your life.
Yeah, and your dollar is going to go further.
Yeah.
So that I think Bowie is great if you're moving from like an area with a lower cost of living. And then as far as rentals, let's see. So as far as rentals, you can still get a house. I wonder if that house is still available, but it's probably not. But it's comparable. I don't know for what you're renting out there and the kind of houses you're renting. It looks like buying is going to be better, and just do a short-term rental. That's what I'm thinking. Just do a short-term rental.
Yeah, everybody's situation is different, right? And so what we're just trying to show you is what's available, what's in the market, and what the trends are in this particular area. So one of our listeners asked us to do this piece on Bowie, right?
Yep.
And so this is like real-time feedback. We're talking about the DMV. So boom, you want to see Bowie? Here we go.
And if you want us to review a certain town or something, we've gotten some requests for outside of Baltimore suburbs, and we will be glad to do that. And just so you know, we're inside right now, guys, but as the outside opens up a little bit more, we're going to get out more and show you more. But we just, I don't know, it's cold, I'm a Florida girl, and it's not happening. We're going to get there.
When the weather breaks and the enlightenment begins to lift some,
You call it enlightenment. I call it awakening.
It's all the same.
See how different we are, y'all.
It's all the same.
But I love it. I love it.
If you're awakened, that means that you've been enlightened to something.
You're right. It's the same thing. It's really.
What's it? It's a synonym.
It's really the same thing.
It's a synonym.
All right. Let's look at economy.
Okay, what's happening with the economy in Bowie, Maryland? You've got about 3.5% unemployment,
which is really, really good.
Yeah, so that's below the U.S. average.
It's still below.
So
it's still below.
People in Bowie got jobs.
Yep.
Right. So if you got income, you got jobs. The affordability is decent. So a lot of people make that decision to go buy a property.
The average pay is $45,000. But the good thing is they've seen the job market increase in the last year.
Yeah, 1.59%.
Which is really, really good. I mean, think about growth. How many areas are growing?
Right.
This DC, and the reason why we're doing this and educating people is because DC is growing. It is really growing, y'all.
It is. Yeah, over the next 10 years, they're predicting that it's going to grow 37.44%.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Get here, y'all.
Get
Get
your job,
here.
bro. Come get your job.
Yeah, or your business. When you talk about that kind of job growth, that's some really heavy stuff for starting a business too.
In DC, they say, get your man.
Yeah. Let's see. The average income in Bowie for a Bowie resident is $55,000. Wow, that's great, y'all.
Yeah.
That is really, really good.
Yeah, you juxtapose that to the natural average of 28,000.
Come on, y'all. That's really good.
You know, people making money in Bowie.
And the median household is what?
Median household is 106,000.
Very good.
396.
And the average U.S. is
53,000. So that's double.
All right, let's look at crime. Gotta look at crime, y'all. This is really good, y'all. So when you look at this map,
break it down for me.
What you want, the darker the area is, the more crime there is.
Okay.
And just because an area is dark does not mean that it's inexpensive. And just because an area is light does not mean it is expensive.
Right.
Which is really different from the rest of the country, right? So what you see on this map is Bowie is outlined in blue.
Yep.
So you can also see the proximity to DC, Metro DC. And it's really not that far, but we're going to get into commute. I did put in commutes because it is a little bit further outside of the metro area. Well, it's in the metro area, but it's a little bit outside of the perimeter.
That's the Georgia term.
You could tell I used to live in Atlanta.
That's
I meant to
Atlanta.
say the Beltway.
The Beltway. In Metro DC, we say the Beltway. In
Right.
Atlanta, we say the perimeter.
But as you can see, the crime is really low. It's a lot lower than the U.S. average. The U.S. average is 22.7% for violent crime. In Bowie, it's only 13.3%.
Yeah, that's good.
And then in the U.S., for property crime, which we know everybody, no matter where you live, has property crime.
Yep.
And the national average is 35.4, and in Bowie, it's only 33. So it's right under there. So this area does have a lot of property crime, so keep that in mind when you bring your pretty cars and your pretty stuff up here. If you're not aware and careful and covered property, you're gonna get it.
Get your car, get your
Okay, let me just say this real quick. The neighborhood we live in is probably, and I'm just giving you what it's like to live in the DC area.
Okay.
The neighborhood we live in is probably one of the most expensive areas to live in Metro DC. I'm talking about the neighborhood, right? 4 cars have been stolen in January.
Yep.
Like my neighbors,
like a couple
my
streets
next
over.
door. No, the next street over.
The
next street up, like behind my house, their car has been stolen.
Yeah.
2 streets over, their car has been stolen.
Keep your head on the swivel.
1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning.
You lock your car.
You can't leave your car out here, y'all. It's weird. It's weird for us
Yeah.
because we come from North Carolina, and you can leave your car, everything open, and they just gonna take the gum that's inside.
Go to sleep with the garage
They're not gonna.
open.
Yeah, I mean, we've actually gone to sleep with the garage door open. You know, you have the garage door open, and the door to your house is open. We've gone to sleep like that. I've left the house all day with the front door open. Nothing. Crickets.
Nothing missing.
That's not going to happen here. That's not going to happen here. So keep that in mind. Property crime is high, but you just have to be aware.
Yeah.
That's all. You just have to be aware.
Just be aware.
Right. So let's see now. Ron joined us. Hi, Ron. We're doing Bowie.
What up, Ron?
So, y'all, DC, I love it here. Can I just say that? I love it here. I did get a question that I did not bring in here.
It's all right.
Okay, wait. Let's see what Ron says.
Ron said he's glad to hear about
to
hear about the growth.
He said, "Happy birthday!"
Hey, appreciate you, Ron.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
And then Ron also said, "It's going to disappear in a second. Glad to hear about the growth. Although my background is in finance and tech, I plan on buying an HP." Okay. Yes, and yes.
Hey, they say you work with your hands, you're never out of work.
You never out of work when you work with your hands. But no, he said he's going to buy an HVAC company.
That's what I'm saying. Because people that work with their hands, he's going to always have some business.
He always going to have some business. That is so smart. And that is the quickest way to wealth, is to buy a business.
Enlightenment, post-enlightenment.
As much as people,
you got to have the HC. You got to have the HVAC stuff.
And I'm an HVAC girl. Let me tell you, that's the one thing I work with on a daily basis is the HVAC system, right? And it needs to be right.
Yeah.
And since there's so much growth here, you are going to, that's a great business. I'm really glad to hear that. And I think that's very, very smart of you. Very, very smart.
Go get the bag.
Go get that bag. Go get that bag.
You want to talk about the local stuff? What happened in DMV this week, baby?
Let's see what's going on. Oh, you know what? There's one more thing I wanted to talk about with Bowie.
Touch on it.
People. Y'all,
people are people, so
did y'all know?
Okay.
What song? What song is this? What you gonna tell me what song is this?
People are people.
I don't see y'all. This is what I do. I don't know what song this is.
It's an 80s joint, baby.
I grew up in the 80s.
I know, but you don't.
If y'all know what song it is, put it down.
They know what song it is.
I don't know.
Look, put that in the comments. Who sang that song?
Who sang that song? Do you know who sang that song?
Yeah, somebody from the 80s.
Tell us to sing it again so they know.
People are people, so what can it be?
Oh, I know that song.
United, get back in harmony.
Okay. Check this out, y'all. 51.9% of the people that live in Bowie are melanated.
Okay, 59%.
Yes.
We thick out Bowie.
We thick out in Bowie. We thick out in Bowie.
My sister has friends that live out Bowie.
Oh, okay. Very, very nice.
Yeah,
very nice.
Shout out to Heath.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, and then one more thing I wanted to share, y'all, is the commute.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Get your podcast ready. Joyfully Married After. Get your whatever you listen to and read while you are in your car.
Yeah.
Because you are going to be in your car.
Yeah, you're making moves, you know.
Look at this, y'all.
And, you know, and the other thing about that, baby, you know, from a post-enlightenment perspective, those commutes might be a little different.
No,
right?
I think it's going to go right on back.
No. I'm not saying the distance will change. What I'm saying is the frequency that people commute will change.
But when you commute,
you got to be ready. Have your podcast on deck, have your thing, have your Audible books and whatever it is that you're doing. And
go ahead and say, honey, I need to spend a little bit more on this car because I'm being.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. And one thing I can tell you about commuting here in DC is we always put our GPS on.
Mm-hmm.
We always put our we do Apple Maps. It's not an endorsement.
Mm-hmm.
But we always do Apple Maps because what we found is that it's going to give us the shortest and most direct route.
Mm-hmm.
And we just follow that.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes, it always gets us around the traffic. So we don't have, I mean, I know a lot of people talk about how bad the traffic is here in DC, and it is bad. I'm not saying it's not bad.
Yeah.
But there are ways around it. Unlike other places I've lived in, Atlanta.
A-Town.
There's only a few ways you can go in Atlanta. You just gonna be in traffic. But here in DC, there are so many ways around it because I think all of the streets are interconnected. It's like you can literally get where you're going without the highway.
Look, you know they have pop-up shops in Atlanta. They have pop-up traffic.
It's terrible. It's like where did this come from?
It's Sunday. It's Sunday at 3:00. It's just like boom.
It's like why? But why?
Traffic just popped up.
But why?
Like what is going on?
And then the other thing about Atlanta is you sit in traffic. Here the traffic moves. It's just so much of it.
Shout out to all my folk in the 8.
And we have 12-lane highways here, so it's different. They don't have 12-lane highways in Georgia. They need them.
They got some big highways.
Where 12 lanes?
Oh, about 12.
Exactly.
They got some wide interstates in Atlanta.
But they're not like they are here. So there's a lot of traffic here, and it's like when you see it, you're like, oh, what do I do? Wow, what's going on? But I've never had to sit in traffic like I did when I lived in Atlanta. So when you get here, put the GPS in, and you look at it, you're like, where is this thing taking me? Follow it.
I saw an interesting article this week on the Hyperloop. They were talking about Hyperloop between here and Baltimore.
Oh.
Yeah, so the Hyperloop, they said it's going to go 300 miles an hour. So you'll be able to go from
I don't know if I want to get on that.
You'll be able to go from here to Baltimore in 15 minutes.
Oh, you have to give me a couple glasses of wine. I don't know about that.
Maybe they'll have some kind of like insulation or do something for the interior of the.
You need a little CBD oil or something? Cause
you know what I'm saying? Maybe they can like adjust the experience on the inside so you don't feel like you're going 300 miles an hour.
I'm like, what if you run into a deer?
No. Hyperloop, it's going to go underground, I think.
You'd be surprised it's
This is weird thing, like the Spider-Man villain gonna be come out of the tunnel,
I'm just
like open up the train, be like, Tracy, you said I was down here, and I am.
I know. I just don't know about going 300 miles an hour. I would really need a hit of CBD, something. I need a glass of wine. I would need something.
They have bullet trains in Japan and other parts of the world.
That's true. Very true. But 300?
Look, I'm just putting it out there, right? We educate people about the DMV.
Yeah.
They said the Hyperloop is coming, so you're going to be able to go from DC to Baltimore in 15 minutes. I think they're also talking about a route from DC to New York, right? And so,
shopping.
So it really opens up a lot of things around employment,
it does,
recreation,
y'all. And where you live.
And where you live.
So you can live where you want.
Yeah. Yes, I understand that.
I'd like to know how many people are looking forward to going back into the office. And I'd also like to know if you're going to take the vaccine or not. Put that in the comments.
Okay.
Put that in the comments. Okay, what happened in DC this week?
Hey, look, one thing that really caught my eye was...
Hold on, let me get
okay, go ahead, baby. You got to take...
DC this week. DC, we need some music for this.
You put the music on. Hit the music button.
I don't have... Well,
hit one of them.
Hit one of them?
Hit any kind of music.
I don't know if it's going to work like that.
Hit any kind of music.
Okay.
DC this week. Hey. It's DC this week. Yeah. Hey.
DC this week.
What happened in DC
this week? Hey. DC. DC, DMV, DC.
Very good, baby.
Okay, so DC this week.
Yeah.
What's the first thing?
You gonna put some audio visual aids up on the screen, my love?
This is so cool, y'all.
Let's see what's happening. On the
what is that?
Look at that.
That's so freaking cool.
The National Women's History Museum unveiled a glass portrait of Vice President Kamala Harris in front of the Lincoln Memorial Thursday. And aptly, it's made of shattered glass.
Let me show y'all this. Y'all see it? Watch this.
The portrait.
Up close. See, it just looks like cracked glass. Look really closely at it. Now, look at that. Oh my gosh.
The portrait celebrates Harris's shattering the glass ceiling.
Perfect.
As the first woman, the first black woman,
yep,
the first South Asian woman,
yep,
and first HBCU graduate to become vice president of these United States of America.
This, y'all, is real. I love this. When I saw this, I was like, oh my God, this is perfect. And then are they gonna leave it there? I mean, I'm just like, I need to touch it. I need to see it.
We gotta dive in.
Yeah, we're gonna go check that out.
Well, it's actually done by a Swiss artist whose name is Simon Berger.
And he actually takes a little chisel. I forgot to put the picture in here, but he actually takes a little chisel and chisels.
No, it was a hammer.
Oh, a little hammer.
So he made the portrait by strategically tapping a hammer on sheets of laminated safety glass.
But check this. He can't make a mistake.
To create thousands of tiny cracks that form a likeness of the vice president.
What y'all think about this? This is real.
And it's based on a photo by New York photographer Celeste Sloan.
Oh my God.
So there you go. Boom. That happened in DC this week. How about that?
What else happened?
How about that? Let's just take a moment.
Just look at the beauty of that.
On this artwork. And then it sits what was that, like on the reflecting pool?
It's right on the right? Yeah, it's right on the reflecting
pool. Yeah, we have to go
clean it out.
We're gonna have to go check that out today.
What's next, baby?
Another thing that happened this week was that there are 8 new black-owned restaurants to try around the DMV.
Yeah.
How about that?
Add some more COVID pounds.
Hey, these destinations for Detroit pizza, fried chicken, and Kenyan food are worth a visit, well beyond Black History Month.
So, wait, that speaks to the growth right there, y'all. That right there speaks to the growth. 8 new during a pandemic.
No, you can't say that. No, you can't say that.
Oh, I keep forgetting.
It's all right. It's an
during the Enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
During the Enlightenment.
It's all good. So let's run down the names of these phenomenal
Yeah, take note.
eating establishments.
So when you come to town, you know where to go.
And we will be frequenting them ourselves.
I'm eating this
Oh,
stuff.
we're going to check it out.
Okay.
No
I'll eat a
doubt.
little bit.
Creole is on 14th. Oh, I'm sorry. Creole on 14th is the name of the restaurant.
Columbia
It's
Heights.
in Columbia Heights.
Columbia Heights.
Yeah. In a Minute Cafe, that's in Capitol Heights.
Okay, that's right up, right before you get down.
Kitchen Cray on 8th Street Northeast.
Melange, is that how you pronounce
I
that?
think it's Melange or Melange.
Mount Vernon Triangle.
Motown Square Pizza. Look, I have a coworker who's from Detroit, and she is always talking about Detroit
This was
pizza.
like the biggest article this week.
Yeah.
Is Detroit pizza now in DC?
Mm-hmm.
It's a square pizza, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Queen's Mother in Arlington. We're gonna go check that out down the street.
Yes. Roaming Rooster.
I've heard about this one. They finally have a spot. So cool.
Woodridge Street.
And check this out, y'all. Swahili Village.
Yep, they're in Beltsville and downtown DC.
They have 2 locations. All right. And
so,
then
hey, y'all support. Go check it out. Anybody in DC, tell them to go support.
now the next thing we're gonna show you is like a real DC thing, y'all. Check this out. Okay, I know you're looking at this. You're like, what is this?
That's the triangle of death.
So there's this area in Northeast DC
Yep.
that is called Dave Thomas Circle.
It's
And
like a play on words, isn't it? Because you have Thomas Circle in DC.
yeah, but they call it.
But this is not Thomas Circle.
So if you look in the middle of this, you see it's a Wendy's. So you're driving down the street, do, and all of a sudden it's like, turn here. And it's like, what? Why would the turn here? Well, okay, now you want to go that way? Turn there again. I'm like, what is this? And it's just to go around the Wendy's.
There's 3 streets come together.
It's a Wendy's in the middle of an intersection.
Yeah, it's like in the middle of the street.
So
It's basically the Wendy's is sitting in the middle of the street.
DC this week decided you gotta go, and I'm so glad.
So this is a little real estate thing, right? Some people may not be aware of the concept of eminent domain, right?
Domain.
And so this is something I did a deep dive on when I got my real estate license back in the day in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And with respect to eminent domain, the municipality has the ability, has the legal right to take your property.
Yep.
If they so choose, if it's in the interest of the public.
Mm-hmm.
And so essentially you will get fair market value, quote, quote.
I think they're getting $13 million.
For the property.
They're getting $13 million for their Wendy's.
But then the property becomes theirs. So they are seizing this property.
Mm-hmm. Please seize it. It's in the middle of the street.
Yeah. And like people who lived here for a long time, they're like, whatever. I can go past that intersection.
I mean, we're used to it, but it's like it adds at least 4 or 5 minutes to your wherever you're going.
I was doing a deep dive into the comments on this article. It was really interesting to see people's comments.
They were like, yay.
Some people are like, ain't no big deal. Other people
My
are
thing
like,
is,
yay.
well, the thing I wonder when I go by this Wendy's is how do you get in and out of there?
Yeah.
It's like, no.
So it's at New York Avenue, Florida Avenue, and First Street, Northeast. And so this essentially what they're going to do is they're going to knock it down and reconfigure the entire intersection, and essentially it's going to become a very cool, where they're going to add some bike lanes to get in and out of there, and it's going to become a very cool park. So there you go.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Somebody was like, oh yeah, great, a park. It's going to be such a place of solace right there at the intersection of New York Avenue in Florida.
It's not. It's just not.
Oh, but it's always good to have green space in the city proper, right?
Yeah,
So,
it is.
so
It
there you
is.
go. So you got to have green space. You're going to have bike lanes. And there you go. So this is like a bonus thing right here. Tracy's putting up. This
Wait,
is like
I'm trying to
bonus.
put it up. I'm trying to put it up. If you're liking anything, go ahead and hit like. It helps us with the algorithm. And it's share and let other people know that you are watching something you like. And then another thing is if you like what's going on, do it, subscribe. And then you'll catch us every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern, right here in our bedroom for right now.
The studio.
I can't believe we have all this house in our studio is in our bedroom.
Just the impromptu studio.
But hey.
It's a different configuration, baby.
It is. I'm trying to get y'all this cool behind picture, so I'm gonna let Heath talk about something. Well, I pull this other picture up because I forgot to add it in.
Oh, that's fine, baby.
But
Why don't you put some music on while you talking about it?
No.
No? Okay, cool.
Okay, so go ahead and tell them about.
No, you gonna tell them about it.
I'm trying to get the picture up because y'all,
You
we
tell
might
them.
have to wait till next week. But this is just the coolest thing. I'm trying, baby. Give me a minute.
It's fine. You got all the minutes that you like.
Oh, I love that. So let me see if I can get this in here.
Let me tell y'all a story. Okay, it's story time. Let me tell y'all a story.
Uh-oh.
Y'all want to hear the story when I met Tracy?
Oh, are you serious?
So I was in the Blackburn Center, the campus of Howard University, and my homegirl Lisa, who went to high school with me, was the current editor-in-chief of the Howard University Vice and Yearbook. And so she said, Heath, I want you to come over and do some stories for the yearbook. I want you to do some sports stories, right? Because I was a journalism person at the time, and I had a talent for writing, and I was doing a lot of writing for campus publications, and, publications that were around Metro DC locally.
I got it. You're not going to have to hear the whole story.
So I guess I'll finish the story at another time and date for those who are interested. If you're interested in me finishing the story, put that in the comments.
Okay.
What you got, baby? What is that?
Is
What
it
is that
coming
a
up?
picture
Can
of?
y'all see it? Did I do it?
It looks like an ice cream cone.
Okay, I did it. Woo, I'm getting good. What is that, y'all? That is, so as you know, we moved here because he got a new job with AWS, also known as, what's AWS stand for?
Amazon website.
Thank you.
Baby, people didn't know that I worked on Amazon website.
I'm sorry, now you know. So much for privacy. So he works for AWS, Amazon Web Services, and we moved here because Amazon put their second headquarters here in Arlington, Virginia.
And the thoughts here are my own.
He has to say that. And the picture you're looking at is one of the new buildings at their Amazon headquarters that they're going to put up. And it's a rendering of it, and that they're proposing. And it's so cool because what happens is when you come into DC on from 95 South, which turns into 495, you come in 95 South, you roll into this area called Pentagon City area. And you can see the mall and you can see the Pentagon on one side. This is directly across from the Pentagon. But this is what you're going to see in about 3 years.
Yep.
It's basically a vertical park.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. So they're going to take the trees from Virginia and places and just vegetation from Virginia, and they're going to put it all around this building. There'll be an elevator inside that goes up to different floors, but it's basically a vertical park. It'll be used, it's for employees, but it will be open to the public a few times a month.
Mm-hmm.
I am so excited about this.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope, right? And so, Amazon has kind of that signature building. They have those domes in front of their headquarters in Seattle, right? And so they've become sort of a public iconic structure, right? And so I think this essentially will be the similar kind of iconic Instagram moment that people can have here in Metro DC. So it's going to be pretty dope, right? It's going to sit right there on the Potomac River. So you'll have views of the city. You'll have views of downtown DC and the river, and it's going to be dope.
Yep. So let's go to some comments really quick.
Okay, cool.
Hey, Kara 007. Oh, yeah, we do remember the Depeche Mode, but we still don't know what that song is.
No, I'm saying I think whatever song I was singing is by Depeche Mode, which
So
was also the last time I was singing.
So
was that the same song or was it a different song?
No, I think
it's
So he has this thing for Depeche Mode, huh?
Depeche Mode was dope.
Yeah. And then Kara 007 also says, Tracy, you are cracking me up on that 300 miles per hour. Let me tell you.
Look,
think about that. Think about that.
when you get on a plane, an airplane is going, 500-600 miles an hour, right?
That's true.
Like?
That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know about a train. It's different. In the air, it's like, okay, I might run into some birds, but underground, y'all, they're going to have that stuff right.
Look, you ain't no deer down there.
And Ree, hey Ree, hi.
What up? What up?
How you doing? How you doing? Oh yes, and it's today's Heath's birthday.
Yeah.
And you missed that part.
Yeah.
And yes, that artwork is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. Yeah.
It is so dope.
I gotta go put my eyes on that.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to do that.
Mm-hmm. It's the same
Here.
song. See, you said it's the same song that I sang last time.
Okay.
Because you said people, and the way my brain works is like by keywords. It's like my brain is like Google. So you hit a keyword, then boom, the song is gonna come out.
Okay. I got you. Okay.
So see, I'm consistent. I'm consistent with the way my brain works. See, it goes back to the same file.
Yeah, it does. It does. Okay, so what you got today on mindset, baby?
Oh, we're gonna get into the mindset?
Yeah, let's get into the mindset.
All right, let's talk about it then. If you're gonna move, you need to understand not only what it costs to live wherever it is that you're going to be, but you also want to understand ancillary costs, and then what are some of the costs that you're going to run into when you get there, right? Is food going to be more expensive? Or is it going to be less expensive? Are you going to have to deal with parking situations, right? So some of these kinds of things that you may take for granted where you are.
So we found how many?
Could be completely different.
So we're talking about costs. So you don't want to just up and move somewhere. What you want to do is think about who's going to pay for it, how much that's going to cost, and get your money right. A lot of other things we did was when he got the offer, or when you're thinking about moving, look at how much. Moving is not just a moving truck. Moving is new taxes, how your taxes are going to be in the new town, and housing is not going to just be how much it costs you every month. You need to figure out how much, try to find the information on how much utilities are going to be for that new home.
Right.
What about registration fees for your car, for your animal, for anything? If school fees are going to be different somehow, if your child is in some type of extracurricular activity, how different that is going to be, what are the costs associated with that.
Yep.
So when you're thinking about these things, it's not to get you agitated or get you frustrated with what's going to be going out. It's to get you comfortable. It's to get you comfortable. And we've talked about in the past how, okay, if you're moving to DC and you're moving from many areas in the country, it's going to be more. It's going to be more. But we don't want you to be afraid of that because the city has so much to offer. And one of the ways to put your mind at ease is figure it out. Find out how much it's going to be. And then put that in your mind as attainable. So when you talk about rental prices and you talk about transportation costs and you talk about utilities, you are talking about things that are attainable. You can do this. So what are some of the things? So moving and shipping costs to Washington, D.C. are what?
Yeah, so the article I found essentially was a juxtaposition of moving to D.C. versus other places that you may be moving to.
That's good. That gives you an idea.
Yeah, so it costs $108 more to move to D.C. than it does to New York. So
Not that big of a difference.
So to Los Angeles, it actually costs $700 less if you're moving to L.A. than it does to D.C.
Okay.
Yeah. So some kinds of things like that are really interesting, right?
What about housing?
If the average apartment in the city center, we actually did our video.
Oh yeah, one of our first DC videos. Yeah,
we have to put that one back up so people can check that out. But a one bedroom down there is $1,600 plus, $1,600 plus. So
no, it's more than
$1,600 is probably like a studio, or whatever this article.
A mini studio.
It may have been a little older too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so outside the city center, $1,200 versus $1,600.
Right.
3-bedroom, $3,000.
Right. So what else? Oh, grocery shopping. That's another thing you need to take into account. I think groceries are a little bit cheaper here because the tax thing is different. So think about that when you're thinking about moving to DC.
Yep.
Because some things are less expensive here. Eating out, I think, is more expensive. I think we had Mexican food last night. It was too expensive. It was way too. It was Mexican. It was tacos. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that was too expensive. I think we had Chinese food one night. I was like, what the heck? It is Chinese food. So things like that we're learning. We're learning that those things are more expensive. So we have to find certain things that when we want to eat out or eat in, as you call it now, that you pick those things. Okay.
Yep.
Alcohol. Alcohol is about the same because in Virginia it's ABC, in DC it's independent, and I think in Maryland it's ABC too.
Mm-hmm.
So ABC is state one. So I think the alcohol costs are about the same, but when you go to a restaurant, of course, it's going to be a little bit more. And then what about transportation?
With Metro and stuff.
Yeah, so Metro is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quick and easy. They're having trouble with their budgets and things like that, especially now during the.
True.
Yeah, I think it's expensive.
Metro is not expensive compared to getting around on Lyft or Uber, right?
That's true.
There are some additional strokes that you have to take, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, it is pretty clean. It is pretty fast.
Yep.
It is pretty safe.
Yep.
And you can get from one place to another. And if you want to reduce your costs, you can buy a smart trip card, right? So you're simply buying in advance.
Yeah, and then the other thing is check and see if the company you're transferring with or coming here with, see if they contribute to your transportation costs.
Yep.
Because that is another perk, and that's something that you can ask for if they just say, is there a perk for transportation? Is there an allowance for transportation? So that helps.
And then if you live in the city versus in Bowie or somewhere else, you can get a bike too.
Oh yeah, and they have city bikes. They have a what do you call it? A network of bikes everywhere. Like we can go down to the Potomac River.
Mm-hmm.
There's a park there. We can get a bike there and go all over the city. It's so cool.
Yep.
And internet, we've talked about this before. Let me tell y'all something. Really, really quick here. This is the peeve of mine. Please, please, please look at the infrastructure of the internet that is available in the area you want to live in.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked to a few people that have moved into their home, love their home, love where they live, but they can't get through a meeting on Zoom or on whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And in this day and age, that needs to be a no-go.
Mm-hmm.
And when Heath and I were looking for our home, because we have so many kids in the house and because we need the internet, we were like, where is the fiber?
If you're working from home, you gotta have the fiber.
Because we were used to Google Fiber. And yeah, I'm a plugger because it was excellent. And
they don't have Google.
They don't have Google Fiber here yet. Well, I don't think they're gonna have it.
Yeah.
But they don't have Google Fiber here. So we got Fios or Fios.
Yeah.
Fios. Verizon Fios. It's excellent. Not as good as Google, but it's good. Mm-hmm. It's better than the other stuff they got out there. And let me tell you something. Just because they say it's fiber does not mean it's fiber. So in DC, the only fiber is Fios. Mm-hmm. Okay? Nothing else. I don't care what they say. It is not fiber. Don't believe it. Check it out. Cost of owning a car here. So I just finished doing all that because it took forever because we were during an awakening. Mm-hmm. It was really efficient and fast. And I wasn't afraid because I looked at what it was going to cost to get new driver's licenses, new tags, how the insurance costs were. Because we researched all of it beforehand, our mindset was at a place of, we got this. Not a big deal. Yep. Not a big deal at all. What's next, baby? Taxes. That's another reason we moved to Virginia. There's some calculators online you can plug things into, and they're going to tell you with your paycheck, you're going to pay this much to live in this state or this town. And what we found was, even though the cost of living was a little bit less in Maryland, the tax position was not as good. So that's another reason we decided to live in Virginia. Okay? So look at things like that. Flight costs. There are 3 major airports in this area. So the flight costs out of DC, you can get your travel on. Yep. Let me tell you. You've got Dulles, which is an international airport. Mm-hmm. They have direct flights to Europe and Asia. You have BWI, which is also an international airport.
Baltimore, Washington.
But they have major hubs there for Southwest, which is, as we know, some of the best pricing. Mm-hmm. And then you have DCA, Reagan International Airport, Reagan National Airport, and they have shuttles. So there's a lot of options here. Moving as far as transportation, there's also Amtrak. There's a major Amtrak station that will get you just about anywhere in a few hours. The transportation here is amazing. So you don't have to take a plane everywhere you go, and you don't have to drive an hour to get to the plane. If you live in Maryland, you can fly out of BWI. If you live in outer Virginia, you can fly out of Dulles. And if you live in, and you can actually, it's really easy to get to all three. So when you're searching for flights here, you can put in all three and get the best price.
Yes.
It's very easy to get to all three.
Yep.
Okay.
I think that's pretty
That's
much,
pretty good, huh?
what we wanted to
Any
touch on.
questions about that, guys?
Yeah.
So the main thing that we want to say about moving, and this is the mindset portion of our show, is to understand your costs.
Yep.
Understand what is going to cost more, what is going to cost less, and don't be afraid of it. One of my old pastors used to have this sermon that I would play over and over in my head, and the title of it was "Meet the Storm Head On." And that's what you want to do. If you consider it a storm, meet it head on, and then glide right on through it because you know what to expect.
Yeah.
Let's go back to some. What we got here?
Yeah, we'll hit a few more questions before we finish up, baby.
Engineering Cannabis says, I just moved to DMV area.
What up? What up?
Where would you suggest to live in Virginia? I'm considering getting a house in Manassas, Norton, or Dumfries due to affordability compared to Fairfax.
I feel that.
So the thing about living in Virginia is the traffic. I will say, as you get south of the city, the traffic does get a little bit more challenging. And that's what you're seeing in the affordability there. So that's why it's less to live in Woodbridge and Dumfries and Fredericksburg. Look at how close you are to either Virginia, what's the name of the railway? Virginia Railway?
Yeah, it's VRE.
VRE. See how close you are to a VRE station, and then use that to come into the city, right? The other thing I would look at living down there is how is the immediate area? Is it going to give you all of the services that you're looking for? And I can tell you, Southern Virginia has a lot of great services, a lot of great stores, high end, low end, whatever. They have everything you need down there. So yeah.
I think the other thing that he was getting at is that comparing the two areas, Manassas and Dumfries, I think Dumfries is more south. I think Manassas is kind of like
southwest.
No, Manassas is just below Centerville.
Oh,
right?
Centerville's cool.
Yeah, so if I were comparing the two, I would definitely choose Manassas over Dumfries.
Yeah, Dumfries is going to get you on 95, and our opinion, that's a nightmare. Isn't it? Don't you think? It's a nightmare. Just leaving the city on a weekend or a weekday, we choose not to go that way unless it's 9 o'clock. Before 9 o'clock in the morning. If you leave your house after 9 o'clock in the morning from this area going that way, or vice versa, it is a nightmare. That is where you do have city and still traffic. So look at the traffic patterns. What you can do is the homes that you're looking at. This is what we did before we moved here. When you're on Zillow or something like that, you can actually click on commute and put in where that commute is, and it'll tell you at different times of day what that traffic looks like. And that's how we decided to move where we moved, and we made a very, very good choice. So I would observe the traffic patterns from all three of those places before I made my decision.
Yeah, Dumfries is below Dale City, whereas Manassas is out 66.
Okay, yeah. So out 66 is a little bit better. It is a toll road, so that's another expense that you would need to add to the cost of that home. I don't know if you're coming into the city on a regular basis or not, or do you live and work in those outer areas? Yeah. So all of those areas are good areas, and if you want us to cover one of those areas in the next video, we'll be happy to. I think we just did Maryland, so now we'll go back to Virginia. So maybe we'll pick one of those. But yeah, I think any of those areas are good, but like he said, maybe stay away from Dumfries because it's so much
more. It puts you on 95 every day.
Yeah, it's going to really put you on 95 every day, which is a struggle. That's a struggle for us right there.
Yep.
And if you do decide on Dumfries, look at how close you are to the VRU,
Yes.
the Virginia Railways.
Because it does
system.
run through there. So
yeah, it runs right through
you
there.
can leverage that. I have a coworker, a colleague who lives, sort of out that way in Fredericksburg.
Yeah,
and,
they live in Fredericksburg.
So their plan to come into the city is certainly to use the VRU.
Yep. Yep.
Takes about an hour.
All right.
Any other questions you want to hit on, baby, before we finish up?
I'm good, guys. Thank
good?
you so much for joining us today. We're here every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. And just let us know where you want us to cover next. We're going to try to get out and about as the weather breaks.
Mm-hmm.
So let us know through questions or just joining our show where you want us to talk about. That's what we're here for.
And remember, stay connected. Stay connected to God. Stay connected to your family. And stay connected to your spouse.
Or your significant other.
We love you guys. Take care. Have a good day.
Have a great day.
HeathandTracyTV.
I don't have an out button.
Boom, 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 boom.
What did I play last time? I played Moons.